The Squiggly Career by Helen Tupper and Sarah Ellis. Since the early 2000s, the nature of work has changed greatly, and as a result, so has the nature of career paths. Factors like increased flexibility and access to opportunities due to the Internet have changed how and why people work. It's no longer the norm to stick to a single profession and company and climb the corporate ladder to achieve financial stability. Instead, people frequently move between professions and companies looking for a job that brings them passion and fulfillment. However, navigating this new approach to careers requires a different skill set than what traditionally ensured success. In The Squiggly Career, 2020, Helen Tupper and Sarah Ellis argue that success in this new era requires 5 abilities: unique talents, strong values, self-confidence, networking, and foresight. Tupper and Ellis are not only co-authors of The Squiggly Career and You Coach You, but are business partners as well. They're the founders of Amazing If, a company dedicated to helping people navigate squiggly careers, and hosts of the Squiggly Careers podcast. Their TEDx talk, The Best Career Path Isn't Always a Straight Line, has close to 2 million downloads and continues growing in popularity. In this guide, we'll explain why the nature of careers has changed, the 5 abilities you need to succeed amid these changes, and how to apply these abilities in your professional life. In our commentary, we'll supplement the author's recommendations with advice from other personal development experts like Jack Canfield, The Success Principles, and Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. The changing nature of careers. According to Tupper and Ellis, modern workers are following nonlinear career paths rather than moving up the career ladder due to 3 main factors. First, the type of work we do in our jobs is changing. This is because technological advancements have automated most repetitive tasks, meaning we now do different tasks and use different skills each day. Further, companies must constantly develop to stay afloat, requiring workers to be adaptable and have a broader range of skills than ever before. Finally, rapid change means organizations' lifespans are too unpredictable for them to guarantee workers an internal ladder to climb. Who knows if their jobs, or the company, will exist in the future? Second, how we work is changing. Employers are giving us more autonomy and less direction. To highlight this, the authors point out that fewer and fewer people are working 9 to 5 on-the-ground jobs. Instead, they're being given the ability to work wherever they want with more flexible hours. This requires employees to take control of their career growth. Without constant guidance from managers and peers in person, they must autonomously set their career goals and determine how to direct their time and attention to reach them. Workers and leaders of the modern era. In Trust and Inspire, Stephen M.R. Covey discusses the changing work environment, elaborating on how these changes have come about and how they not only impact workers, but the nature of leadership as well. Covey explains that the underlying factor behind the author's first point, the unpredictability of daily tasks and future prospects for workers and organizations, is the shift away from industrial-era work and toward modern-day knowledge work. In the industrial era, workers mainly focused on manual tasks that were streamlined and didn't require much creativity. However, due to the automation of most manual tasks, the majority of today's work is knowledge work, which hinges on a person's ability to continuously learn, generate new ideas, and collaborate with others. This has markedly changed the nature of work and organizations because success hinges on innovation. Whoever comes up with the next best thing beats the competition. This is why organizations are constantly changing and why workers must change along with them. Further, Covey explains that this not only requires workers to be more autonomous and internally driven, but it also requires workplace leaders to understand how to inspire autonomy and personal drive in employees. As a result, whereas Tupper and Ellis present 5 abilities that workers need to thrive in this ever-changing environment, Covey provides 5 doctrines leaders need to adopt to inspire employees. 1. Everyone has a higher potential to achieve. 2. People's needs are dynamic and important. 3. Everything is in abundance. 4. Service to others comes first. And 5. Change starts with me. Third, the authors explain that the reason we work is changing. Rather than working for financial stability, we're prioritizing jobs that make us feel passionate and fulfilled. Tupper and Ellis note that this is partially because people are living longer and therefore working longer, They want to enjoy the jobs they're spending the majority of their life performing. They note that 48% of baby boomers and 30% of millennials report prioritizing a job they're passionate about over income or status. This leads many people to try numerous roles and professions throughout their careers. Short-form note: other research reveals lower percentages of people working for passion. In one survey, only 16% of baby boomers and 14.3% of millennials report that they're working for passion. Further, passion isn't a top priority for millennials at all. One study showed that millennials prioritize pay, retirement, ability to make large purchases, and ability to afford vacations all before passion in their reasons for choosing a job. They note that this may be because millennials are the lowest-paid generation. Ultimately, in contrast to the author's argument, it seems that passion as a career priority is becoming less popular. Ultimately, the authors explain that these three main factors, the diminishing of structured career ladders, increased autonomy, and the drive for passion over money, have led people to abandon linear career paths. They explain that to succeed in a non-linear career path, workers must develop 5 key abilities. In the following sections, we'll discuss these abilities and how to put them into action. Ability 1. Unique talents. Tupper and Ellis explain that workers must develop and leverage their unique talents to reach peak performance. Unique talents, or superstrengths as the authors call them, are not just your strengths but the things you're best at and love doing. Leveraging your unique talents is crucial in a non-linear career for 2 main reasons. Short-form note: many professional development experts agree on the importance of leveraging your superstrengths at work. However, some categorize the components that define superstrengths slightly differently. For example, in the Success Principles, Jack Canfield believes that superstrengths also encompass the talents that generate the most income for you or your company. While Tupper and Ellis don't necessarily speak against considering financial gains when identifying your superstrengths, they don't consider them relevant criteria. First, the authors say that leveraging your unique talents in your career makes you exponentially more productive and effective than those who don't. This makes you a valuable and timeless asset in ever-changing organizations. Second, knowing your unique talents helps you identify valuable opportunities and make effective decisions with minimal employer direction. An opportunity is only worth pursuing if it makes use of your talents. Short-form note: to truly boost your productivity and decision-making abilities, consider regularly setting specific, short-term goals on top of identifying your unique talents. In the 12-Week Year, Brian P. Moran explains that short-term goals boost productivity by requiring you to identify what you need to do and when. This reduces ambiguity and the potential for productivity-killing procrastination. Further, setting short-term goals requires you to identify specific actions necessary to reach those goals. This will help you make effective decisions because it will be clear whether an opportunity helps you accomplish your specific actions and therefore your goal, or whether it will be a distraction. Second, research shows that leveraging your talents productively makes you happier. Therefore, using your unique talents in your career will arguably make you happier and more satisfied with your job. This is crucial for those prioritizing passion over comfort. Short-form note: the authors note that utilizing your unique talents in your work makes you happier and more satisfied with your job, but they don't specify why. In Scrum, Jeff Sutherland provides some background, explaining that happiness at work is defined by 3 factors. 1. The freedom to make and act on your own decisions. 2. The feeling of accomplishment and progress. And 3. The feeling that what you're doing is important and impactful. Leveraging your unique talents likely makes you happy by allowing these 3 factors to be present in your work. Identify your unique talents. According to Tupper and Ellis, the first step in leveraging your unique talents is identifying what they are. To do this, they recommend the following 4-part exercise. First, brainstorm 15 to 20 of your strengths. Then, the authors recommend writing down 3 weaknesses and 3 strengths you have that counter each weakness. It's often easier to identify our weaknesses, and our weaknesses often parallel some of our greatest strengths. For example, a weakness may be organization, but a parallel strength may be creativity. Maybe you're a scattered person, but that helps you think outside the box. Short-form note: The author's concept of weaknesses often indicating strengths is a common theme in stories like David and Goliath from the Bible. David had weaknesses that suggested he'd fail in his battle. He had no sword and armor, he was small, and he was a shepherd without battle skills. However, each of these perceived weaknesses ended up being strengths that helped him succeed. He was more agile without weapons, his size made him fast, and his experience as a shepherd taught him to fatally sling rocks at predators. If you're struggling to identify strengths that oppose your weaknesses, try imagining yourself as a story character like David. This may help you think of yourself in a more empowering way. Second, the authors say to make a list of things you're naturally gifted at. Then, ask 3 people with whom you have different relationships to provide a few words that describe you and an explanation behind each word. Your gifts tend to stand out to others. Finally, compare the words and explanations from friends to the natural gifts and strengths you've listed and identify overlaps. Short-form note. In StrengthsFinder 2.0, Tom Rath provides some additional information about strengths that help you identify your natural gifts. Rath says there are 34 innate abilities that fall into 4 categories: action-oriented abilities, cognitive abilities, people-oriented abilities, and belief-based abilities. Keeping these categories in mind may not only get your juices flowing while brainstorming, but can also provide a foundation for you to use when identifying overlaps in your results. For example, you may find that your natural talents tend to be associated with your people-oriented abilities more than the other categories. Third, after listing strengths that come naturally, the authors say to list those you've learned. To do this, consider your daily personal and professional tasks and responsibilities and the skills they require. For example, maybe you learn to cook by paying attention to details of recipes. Short-form note. Ryder Carroll's The Bullet Journal Method may more effectively help you keep track of your daily tasks to measure what you excel at. The method entails keeping a daily record of ideas, thoughts, statistics, and so on pertaining to situations throughout your day. You can have different sections for different topics, like your performance on daily tasks. Then, you can review your records to identify where you're excelling at the end of the day, week, or month. Using the method may also help you identify unique talents without recording your daily tasks by encouraging constant introspection. Finally, the author's last step to identify your unique talents is to select 6 strengths from the lists you've made so far that you're exceptional at and want to explore more. Then, give each talent a 1 to 10 score on 4 factors: how successful you've been using the skill, how often you use it, how visible it is to others, and how happy using it makes you. Total your scores for each talent so you get a number out of 40. Higher scoring talents are the ones you should consider unique talents, especially the ones that score highest in happiness. Short-form note. Using a tool that matches you with official strengths based on research by experts, rather than your own insightful but amateur observations, may be a more effective route to identify your unique talents. You can take Gallup's StrengthsFinder test, which will match you with 5 to 10 of the strengths laid out by Rath in StrengthsFinder 2.0. This test may also give you a more complete list of your strengths, providing you with up to 10 versus the author's 6. Leverage your unique talents. The authors provide a few recommendations for leveraging your unique talents to benefit your career. First, spend time on your unique talents. The majority of your time should be spent practicing and developing your talents, while under a quarter of your time should be spent improving weaknesses that are hindering your talents. For example, if you're a great written communicator but you struggle with speaking, spend most of your time on your writing but occasionally practice sharing your ideas verbally so you can strengthen your communication skills overall. Further, consider how you're using your unique talents in your current role and how you can use them more. If your current job doesn't use your unique talents, consider switching to one that does. Short-form note. In the Success Principles, Canfield offers a method for dedicating time to your unique talents that doubles as a framework for integrating talents into your work schedule. He recommends dividing your days into 3 categories. 1. Days where you focus on your unique talents, 2. Days where you prepare for your talent days, and 3. Non-working leisure days. To combine Canfield and the author's suggestions, you can spend 4 days a week on unique talents and 1 day preparing for talent days by improving weaknesses. Then, take the weekend and occasional vacation days for leisure. Canfield recommends 130 to 150 leisure days a year to recharge your productivity. Second, look for new opportunities to develop your unique talents. One way to do this is to use them for personal projects, side jobs, or volunteer opportunities. You should also let others know about your talents and make them evident on social media sites like LinkedIn. When other people know your talents, you're more likely to be offered valuable opportunities. Short-form note. In Designing Your Life, Bill Burnett and Dave Evans reiterate the importance of continuously looking for new opportunities by putting yourself out there. Doing so plugs you into the hidden job market. Sharing your interests with others, whether through actions, conversations, or social media, makes you a candidate for opportunities you never officially applied for. To make this process most effective, Burnett and Evans recommend adopting the mindset of seeking offers rather than jobs. Not only will you attract rather than chase, but you'll foster a curiosity-based mindset that encourages you to pursue offers out of genuine interest rather than just career alignment. An important factor for Ability 5. Foresight. Ability 2. Core values. The second ability Tupper and Ellis say workers must leverage to succeed in a non-linear career is having core values that guide their actions. Core values are the most important things to you, and knowing what they are is crucial for a few reasons. First, core values provide a simple decision-making system. If something doesn't align with your values, it's not for you. This will help you easily sift through opportunities so you can find what's right for you. Further, making decisions with less deliberation allows you to more quickly move toward your goals and find a job you're passionate about. Second, having a strong commitment to your values will help you understand other people, how their decisions and actions are based on their commitment to their values. This will increase your ability to collaborate with others. Collaboration and decisiveness are both skills that make you a timeless asset in ever-changing organizations. Short-form note. In Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins reiterates the importance of identifying your core values in life to effect fulfillment, inner peace, certainty, joy, and effective connection with others. However, he warns that living by your core values can cause enduring frustration and unhappiness if they contradict each other. For example, if two of your core values are connection and independence, you may continually struggle in relationships. You want to connect and collaborate, but you also want to do your own thing. To ensure you achieve the author's desired results, be sure none of your core values contradict each other. Identify your core values. Tupper and Ellis explain that core values are the most important things in your life that you prioritize over all else. Therefore, you can only have 3 to 5 core values. Further, core values are universal. They'll guide your actions and decisions in all areas of your life, whether personal or professional. The authors recommend following a 4-part exercise to identify your values. Short-form note. In Dare to Lead, Brené Brown reiterates the importance of only having a few core values. She elaborates that this is crucial because having too many values makes them meaningless. They become feel-good words rather than principles that truly guide your behaviors, intentions, and commitments. Further, Brown recommends narrowing your core values even further than the authors. She says you should have only 2. First, the authors say to consider all the jobs you've done in your life. How happy or unhappy did you feel in each one and why? Based on the best and worst job experiences you've had, what are 3 things you require to be happy and 3 things you want to avoid at all costs? Second, evaluate your previous response and consider what's most important to you about 4 factors: the people you work with, the roles you perform, the company you work for, and your work environment. Which factors are more or less important to you? Evaluate your life to identify your values. While the author's approach to identifying core values is career-focused, Russ Harris provides a more general and scientifically backed approach to identifying values in the happiness trap. First, while the authors recommend analyzing values under the domain of career and in relation to 4 factors, Harris recommends considering values in 4 domains identified by psychologists, work being only one of them. You should also consider your values under the domains of relationships, personal development and wellness, and leisure. Then, Harris recommends asking yourself numerous questions to identify values in each domain. For example, under the work domain, ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? If you could be that person without obstacles, how would you treat people and behave? What kind of relationships are important to you? What skills or knowledge do you want to gain? The third step of Tupper and Ellis's exercise is to brainstorm a list of 10 traits that encompass the different concepts you've recorded in the previous steps. For example, if something important to you is being friends with your coworkers, you might want to write something like authenticity. Short form note. This tool sorts 230 core values into 12 categories and may be helpful for drawing connections between values and combining them into core values. So, if most of your values seem to fall under the category of feelings, consider the different core values under this category and select the one you feel best represents the values you've outlined. Short form note. The authors provide an original list of 72 example values in the book. Finally, the authors say to identify your core values from the list of traits by weighing each trait against the others to identify which is more important. To start, compare trait 1 to trait 2 and mark a check next to the more important one. Then compare trait 1 to trait 3 and so on until you've reached trait 10. For round 2, compare trait 2 to traits 3 to 10. Repeat the process for each trait until they've all been weighed against each other. At the end of the exercise, the traits with the most checks will indicate your core values. Short form note. You can use this chart to help complete your values analysis digitally. To use this tool, first replace the 10 value labels with the 10 values you'll compare. Then, move down each row comparing the value next to the row 1 indication to the value indicated in the top of the chart. If the value of that row is more important, mark it with a 1. If it's not, leave it empty. Then, tally the ones in each row and mark the total for each value in the total column on the right to determine your top-ranking values. Once you have your core values, the authors add, define exactly what they mean to you and what they require you to do. For example, you might define your core value of genuine connection as relationships and environments where you can be your authentic self and speak your mind without feeling pressure to hold back or be something you're not, and where others do the same. This core value might require you to leave relationships and work environments where others or the organization are inauthentic, or where you feel pressure to censor your authenticity. Short form note. Brené Brown also recommends defining your values and what they require you to do in Dare to Lead. To be even more specific, she recommends including the following elements in your definition. Several behaviors that support the value, behaviors that would go against the value, and a few examples of moments of integrity where you exemplified this value. Leverage your values. The authors explain that identifying your values isn't as simple as doing an exercise. You may realize over time that what you prioritize in real life differs from what you identified on paper. As such, you must regularly reflect on your daily life and how your core values play into it. How many of your core values can you remember off the top of your head, and how often are they contributing to your life? If you find that one of your core values on paper isn't a core value in real life, you should re-evaluate. Short form note. If you find yourself having to regularly re-evaluate your core values, you may be confusing goals with values. In The Happiness Trap, Harris explains that this is a common mistake people make when identifying their values, especially in Western societies, which tend to be more concerned with status and achievement. For example, if one of your values is financial stability, you may find this value is no longer relevant in guiding your actions once you've attained wealth. This is because it's a goal. Whereas goals are objectives that can be considered completed, values dictate ongoing behavior. Further, the authors recommend making the effort to integrate your values into your life, especially in areas that may stray from your values. The authors say that when decisions arise, you should use your values to guide your choices. For example, in prioritizing authenticity, you may have to decide between agreeing with someone to maintain peace or speaking your mind and risking conflict. Following your values would require you to speak your mind respectfully. Short form note. In The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, Nathaniel Branden explains that living by your values is especially important because when you fail to do so, you compromise your integrity. When this happens, you end up damaging your self-respect and self-esteem, both of which directly contradict Tupper and Ellis's third ability, self-confidence. Brandon says that to regain integrity, if you accidentally act against your values, take responsibility for your behavior and the consequences, do what you can to reduce any damage you've caused, examine why you did what you did, and commit to integrity in the future. Ability 3. Self-confidence. Tupper and Ellis's third ability for succeeding in a nonlinear career is self-confidence, believing in your capacity to achieve your goals, acknowledging your success, and being resilient in the face of challenges. Self-confidence is crucial in nonlinear careers for 3 reasons. First, self-confidence inspires you to take action toward your goals with less deliberation, helping you forge your own path and achieve goals faster. Second, self-confidence helps you persevere when you encounter setbacks and challenges. Third, being confident in yourself inspires others to be confident in you as well, making you a valuable asset to teams and organizations. Short-form note. In the 6 pillars of self-esteem, Brandon argues that to achieve true success in life, you need to have more than just self-confidence, you need to have self-esteem. His concept of self-esteem includes Tupper and Ellis's definition of self-confidence and also encompasses the belief that you're an inherently good and valuable person who deserves happiness. Having self-esteem is beneficial because, in addition to the results of self-confidence listed by the authors, self-esteem increases independence, creativity and intuition, and rationality. Tupper and Ellis offer 3 main methods you can use to build your confidence. Method 1. Overcome limiting beliefs. Tupper and Ellis's first method for building your confidence is overcoming your limiting beliefs, thoughts that diminish your self-worth and hold you back from reaching your goals. For example, believing you can't learn a hard skill or that others will always be better than you. The first step in overcoming your limiting beliefs is identifying them. To do so, consider what you're afraid of, what you want to do but don't, and what negative thoughts you have about yourself. Then, ask yourself why you believe these things. For example, you don't like talking to new people because you're afraid they'll reject you. Short-form note. In Awaken the Giant Within, Robbins provides additional recommendations for releasing limiting beliefs. He says that once you've identified them, consider not only why you believe these things, but why they might be ridiculous, who you learned each belief from and whether they're a good influence, the costs and benefits of holding on to the beliefs, and the costs and benefits of letting them go. This will help you better direct your efforts to overcoming the belief, for example, by giving you confidence to face your fears and detach from negative influences in your life. Next, Tupper and Ellis say you must face your fears and challenge your limiting beliefs to disprove them. For example, face your fear of talking to new people by finding someone new to start a conversation with. Most of the time, you'll realize that your fear doesn't manifest or that it's actually not as bad as you thought. This will help you build confidence in yourself and overcome the things holding you back. Regularly challenge yourself to continue making progress. Short-form note. In The Comfort Crisis, Michael Easter explains that facing your fears is difficult for most people because we dread the anxiety that comes from leaving our comfort zone. However, there are small things you can do regularly to strengthen your ability to break out of your comfort zone. For example, going into nature on a regular basis better equips you to face your fears by reducing anxiety, depression, and anger. In particular, Easter recommends spending 20 minutes in nature, even if it's a city park, at least 3 times a week, at least 5 hours in a rural area, outside the city, every month, and at least 1 3-day trip to the wilderness, outside of civilization, every year. Method 2. Acknowledge your success. The author's second method to build self-confidence is to acknowledge your successes. Many people struggle with self-confidence because we have the tendency to remember our failures more than our successes, therefore building a false negative track record for ourselves in our minds. Short-form note. We tend to remember our failures more than our success due to the negativity bias, a natural cognitive bias that causes negative events to more significantly impact us than positive events. Experts theorize that this bias developed as an evolutionary adaptation. We're more focused on negativity so we can avoid what can harm us and keep ourselves safe. To counter this, the authors say you should start recording all your successes of the day. how you helped yourself and others in different contexts. Further, remember that success is subjective. Rather than comparing yourself to others or an objective idea of success, consider what success means to you. Short-form note. In Steal Like an Artist, Austin Kleon also recommends overcoming our tendency toward negativity by keeping track of positive experiences in a praise file. This way, all your positive reminders are in one, easily accessible digital file. He specifically recommends keeping track of positive comments you receive from others. However, you can use it to record any success or positive experience. Method 3. Build a support system. Finally, Tupper and Ellis argue that it's crucial to have a solid system of supporters in order to build self-confidence. You should ensure your support system includes at least one person who can offer unconditional love, like a parent, one who can empathize with your circumstances, one who can give situational advice, and one who can give honest feedback. Short-form note. In bold, Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler also recommend building a system of close supporters to help you succeed in your career. However, they note that these people are useful for more than just building self-confidence. They can also help you build your business or personal brand by offering critical feedback, personal connections to build your network, which is important for ability for, and resources you may need along your journey. Further, say Tupper and Ellis, ensure there's balance in these relationships. Don't rely too frequently or heavily on someone. You also want to ensure that the relationship is somewhat mutual, that you or the other person isn't expecting support without returning it. Failing to do these things can create dependent relationships that hinder autonomy. Short-form note. Even if you're in mutually supportive relationships, you can still end up overly dependent. For example, if you struggle to make decisions without others' input, struggle to start things on your own, feel the need for others' approval, or are unable to enforce personal boundaries, you may have a dependency problem. Ability 4. Networking. Tupper and Ellis's fourth skill for succeeding in a non-linear career is the ability to network. Networking is building a social web of people who offer mutual benefits. They help you build your career, and you do the same for them. This can be by providing advice, mentorship, skills, other connections, and so on. Networking is important for 3 reasons. First, strong networking skills help you to build meaningful relationships with people. This is important because having a smaller network of close connections who are willing to help you is more effective than a large network of loose connections that you can't leverage. Second, your network will provide a diverse web of knowledge and perspectives that help you develop your career and branch into new territory. Third, networking helps you spread your name. The more that people know you, your goals, and your talents, the more opportunities will come your way. Short-form note. In Never Eat Alone, Keith Ferrazzi also emphasizes the crucial nature of networking. In addition to the benefits discussed by the authors, Ferrazzi explains that another important benefit of networking is that it improves your public image. It makes other people think positively about you. In particular, having a reputation for being well-connected will make you popular and influence more people to want to join your circle. You'll also be seen as having good social skills, which not only makes people like you but is a sought-after professional skill. Build your network. The authors provide a few recommendations to build your network. First, be calculated when deciding who you build relationships with. You can only keep up with a certain number of people, so it's crucial that the people you let into your network are highly valuable to you. To ensure your network is intentional, identify the skills and benchmarks you need to meet to achieve your goals and seek relationships with people who can help you. One way to do this is by considering what you need to reach your goals in 3 areas: your current job, your future career, and your personal life. You should seek out people with the specific experience, knowledge, or connections that you need to progress in one or more of these areas. For example, if you're interested in transitioning into a new industry for your future career, look for someone with experience in that industry who can give you advice or help you build more connections in that area. Short-form note. In Never Eat Alone, Ferrazzi also emphasizes the importance of having a network of meaningful contacts rather than shallow connections. To ensure this, he says that you should build a social network that includes 4 groups of people: people who can help you meet specific goals, mentors, people with a large network who can share their contacts, super connectors, and people who are well known and share their insider knowledge and clout with you. As long as each person in your network falls into one or more of these categories, you're guaranteed to have numerous people who can help you with your personal life, current career, and future career. Further, once you have a network, the authors note that it's important to use it. One way to do so is to share your skills and interests with people and ask if they have recommendations or connections that may be of use to you. Even if they don't in the moment, they'll think of you if something does arise in the future and spread your name to others in relevant situations. This will attract more opportunities back to you. You can also start a side project that will help you develop your skills and ask one of your network members to help you. Short form note. Under Ferrazzi's framework in Never Eat Alone, this is the type of conversation you'd want to have with your superconnector contacts. He notes that there are a few types of superconnectors whom you'd especially benefit from having this discussion with. For example, headhunters, political lobbyists, journalists, or social media gurus. These people are guaranteed to know many people in many disciplines who they can connect you with. Finally, write Tupper and Ellis, be sure to find ways for your network to benefit from you so the relationship is mutual. Sharing your skills is one way to do this. Once they know your expertise, people can ask for assistance when it's relevant. You can also directly ask people what you can do to help them. How to request benefits and give them in return. In Never Eat Alone, Ferrazzi explains that superconnectors are the best types of contacts to ask for opportunities and connections. In particular, he discusses a few types of superconnectors that are especially beneficial to have in your network and the types of benefits you can offer them to ensure the connection is mutual. For example, headhunters are a great superconnector to have in your network. To ensure the connection is mutual, you can provide them with business leads and connect them to valuable people you know who need a job. Social media gurus are another great superconnector to have. To ensure the connection is mutual, you can share their content on your feed. Ability 5. Foresight. The author's final ability for succeeding in a nonlinear career is foresight, the ability to strategically envision your desired future and possible career paths so you can develop truly fulfilling goals in the present. These goals will be based on genuine interests rather than objective metrics of success, like a promotion, and will be enjoyable and fulfilling to work toward. Having foresight in a nonlinear career is crucial for three main reasons. First, it allows you to plan a fulfilling career trajectory autonomously. Second, when you work toward an interest-based goal and enjoy the process, you'll discover additional interests and meaningful opportunities along the journey. Third, when you're focused on pursuing your genuine interests, you ensure that your decisions guide you toward a career you truly want. Many people switch to equally unsatisfying jobs just to escape their current one. In the following section, we'll discuss how to practice foresight by identifying possible career paths and developing the skills necessary to pursue them. Short-form note. In The Magic of Thinking Big, David J. Schwartz reiterates the importance and benefits of envisioning meaningful, passion-driven future goals and career paths, adding that there are 5 excuses people make that prevent them from doing so. First is self-deprecation, thinking you're not good or smart enough to achieve your goal. Second is the desire for security, which prevents you from branching out into new territory. Third is the belief that competition is too stiff to succeed. Fourth is letting your parents set your goal rather than creating it yourself. Fifth is allowing family obligations or expectations to prevent you from pursuing your dreams. Develop foresight. According to the authors, the first part of developing foresight is identifying the possible directions your career could go in. There are 4 directions you should consider. 1. The logical next step based on your current job. 2. A job you've thought about pursuing but made excuses not to. 3. The job you do in your dream world. And 4. A job that's parallel to your current job. It's a different industry or career path but uses your skills and strengths. Short-form note. In the previous commentary, we discussed 5 excuses from The Magic of Thinking Big that Schwartz says prevent us from developing foresight. If you find yourself using these excuses, Schwartz recommends altering your underlying attitude from scarcity, what you don't have, to abundance, what you do have. You should overcome excuses and focus on your values in 4 main areas: health, intelligence, age, and luck. Further, the authors write, the most valuable possible career directions are those that promote the 5 abilities of nonlinear careers. To ensure the possible career direction will benefit you long-term, consider the following. 1. How often will it have you practicing and developing your unique talents? 2. In what ways will it allow you to live your values? 3. How will it help build your self-confidence? 4. How will it help you use and give back to your network? 5. What future opportunities might it open up for you? Classifying the ideal career. In what color is your parachute? Richard Nelson Bowles says the ideal career must align with 5 facets, some of which align with the skills the authors discuss. Combining the authors and Bowles's requirements will ensure you choose a career that's most valuable to you. The first 2 facets of a valuable career, according to Bowles, are alignment with the people and workplace conditions. What kind of person are you? What kind of people do you get along with? And which environmental conditions make or break a company for you? These are the types of people and factors you'll want to be present in your career. While the authors recommend considering these factors when developing your core values, they also say you can only have 5 core values. Even if these factors don't make it into your core values, Bowles says they're still important when selecting your career. 2 more facets Bowles says make a career valuable are the skills and knowledge it requires you to use. You want to use the skills you're best at and the knowledge you have that excites you. You'll also want to ensure your career helps you further develop your skills and knowledge. Ensuring this will also arguably help you develop your self-confidence and your ability to benefit your contacts by sharing your expertise. While the authors say your career should rely on your unique talents, skills, they don't discuss the importance of knowledge that excites you. Bowles says you should also choose a career that aligns with your life purpose. This means that the career should not only align with your values, as the authors discuss, but it should also help you achieve your underlying mission in life. Bowles recommends ensuring a career aligns with one additional factor that the authors don't discuss: money. While the authors prioritize all the other factors above money, Bowles reminds us that money is still important to fund the things we want to be able to do in life.